Going on? What's going on? Tremaine, Mr. Hard Pivot, and I am back at your screen once again, guys. So, hey, do me a favor, guys. Well, when you're listening, you're checking us out. Do me a favor, drop in the comments where you're listening from, wherever it is in the country, wherever it is in the world, and drop what you do. I like to know what you do, right? So we just sometimes we can get together and create some synergy, guys. So if you're here for the first time, appreciate it. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you have any thoughts on, because we'd like to talk money, mindset, and message on this channel. So if you have any thoughts or anything that you want to talk about or hear about, let me know. Drop them in the comment section or email me like others do. And, I do my research and get that together. So I appreciate you guys for stopping by. But today we are talking about 8 tips to financial freedom. And I'm going to top it off with some cherry on the top, right? I'm going to talk about how to get $300 added to your paycheck within 24 hours, right? You have a job, you have 2 jobs, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about that later. That's going to be the cherry on the top. So I'm really going to give you like 7 great tips to financial freedom. And then that cherry on the top would be the ace to kind of tie it all together, right? So with that being said, we know we're going through some serious inflation right now, and then this hyperinflation, and the Feds are trying to raise the rates to try to counteract it. I don't know, how that's supposed to work to bring inflation down, but the rates are being raised again, and inflation is at its highest it's been in history in over 40 something years, right? So we know we're really, really seriously going through some things. So with that being said, you have to learn to strategies and tips to counteract, right, inflation, because there's no way to outwork inflation. You're going to hear me say it. You've heard me say it 1,000 times. You're going to hear me say it 1,000 more times. There is no way to outwork inflation. You have to learn strategies to outpace inflation. There's just no way around it, right? So that being said, let's talk about, before I get into the tips, I want to talk about the national credit card debt. So they said in the last couple months, the credit card debt has risen to all-time highs, right? I think it said on national average, the national average, excuse me, for credit card debt is about $6,000 per household, and it's steadily increasing. So that's not a coincidence that inflation is going up and that the usage of credit cards are going up, right? That's not a coincidence. That's more a cause and effect. That's not a spurious relationship. That's not a spurious cause and effect relationship. That's a real cause and effect relationship, guys. Why? Because inflation is going up. The price of goods and services are steady going up, right? Which is inflation, and your paycheck isn't, right? You're still trying to buy last year's groceries with this year's paycheck, and you're seeing that you're not getting nearly as much as you did last year or a couple years ago. So that's not so now people are really just trying to use those credit cards instead of just for fun or buying that bag or the object that they just wanted to have. They're starting to pay bills with those credit cards now, right? So that's why as inflation is going up, the credit card usage is going up. So I think the national average is about 66,000, 6,200 right now. So this yeah, so yeah, the national average is about 6,000, 6,200 guys. So just wanted to start off with that and to set a precedence to show you exactly why we need to learn how to outpace inflation with strategies and tips. So I just want to drop about, like I said, it's going to be 7 tips to financial freedom and then one just cherry on the top, right? So the first one is going to be to learn how to automate your investing, right? Learn how to automate your investing. So, right now people are saying because of the inflation and because of the way the stock market is and it's falling, and cryptocurrency, some people say it's not a time to invest. Those again, remember, money is never lost. Money is always transferred. So there are others that say this is the perfect time to invest. Uh, so many millionaires and billionaires are created in a pandemic and in a crisis in a bubble. So just learn to automate your investing. What I mean by that, like if you are working, you have a 401k, right, or a SEP account, or some direct deductions being took from your paycheck, right? So just make sure that's automated. Make sure you're not just putting too much money in and not putting enough in. Have it automated because typically the mindset is when you don't see it, you don't think about it. So if you just automate it and it comes right out of your check, just like those taxes do, we don't think about overpaying taxes because they come out so automatically. We don't know, we don't pay attention to how much we're overpaying taxes. So automate your investing and it just make it easier on you to do that, to save money, to invest the money, right? So two, real estate. So I know you hear on the online talk about real estate and people say get into real estate without money, with low money, with no money, wholesale, hotel. It's all kinds of ways to invest in real estate. But I think the real estate is good because it is long term. You know, people will always need a home. People will always need a roof over their head. So if you are able to invest in real estate over time, it's more stable, right? And especially if you are, end up partnering with some people that are doing some bigger real estate deals. So that's definitely one of the best tips I can give you over time, real estate, because it always ends up being stable. Even though we had some crashes, I know in '06, '07, '08, the bubble busted, the real estate busted, but that was a whole lot of different things going on at one time that created that, right? So the third thing I want to share are the tips to financial freedom is medical and life insurance. Yes, obtaining medical and or life insurance, guys, right? Because if you love your family, doing this is a must. Because all too often we talk about generational curses, we're talking about passing on debt from generation to generation, and that's one of the main reasons we do that. Because we don't take the time to have life insurance policies in place so that we won't add to the financial stress to the ones that we love when we leave them. This whole I forget the name of the app or the company where you can just you know ask for money and people can send you money, and a lot of people are using that when someone passes in their family. And I have nothing against that because some people have no choice but to go to that as to bury their families or something, so their members like that. But I think people are starting to depend on that way too much as opposed to investing in medical and life insurance, especially medical insurance. Because if you're going through life and you're not healthy, then it's hard to get wealthy. It's hard to get on the road to wealth if you're not healthy, because all you're thinking about is your body and the ailments that you're going through, and you're not thinking about the strategies and the goals and the preparedness that it takes to at least get on the road to wealth, right? So that's definitely important, medical and life insurance, right? And I know a lot of people will will hate for me to say this, but no new cars. I know everybody wants that Maybach and that old school and that vintage car, and you want to go out and get car notes for the latest Cadillac truck and all of that stuff. Uh, but I know you heard this, but have you heard it like this? When the car pulls off the lot, it immediately loses 25 to 30% of its value, right? A lot of people throw that out there and say, oh, a car loses value when it goes off the lot. But no, it loses about 25 to 30% of its value when it rolls off the lot. So why not go buy a 2 or 3 year old car, certified pre-owned? It's going to save you on interest. It's going to save you insurance. It's going to cost less in insurance. It's going to save you a ton in taxes paid on the vehicle, and you'll still have a relatively new vehicle, a dependable vehicle, right? So no new cars, guys. Next, number 5, let's get out of debt. Even if it's slowly but surely, as my great grandma would say, even if it's like molasses going uphill, as she would say, work your way out of debt, right? Work your way out of debt. Because a lot of times it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. Again, let me say that again. Some people think, they listen to the channels and everything, and they say, oh, I'll make 150, 200,000, and I'm middle class, et cetera, et cetera. It's not about how much you make, because the government is still taking the same third of your taxes. they're actually taking probably more. They probably put you in a higher tax bracket. You probably get taxed even more, right? So it's about keeping the money. So getting out of debt slowly but surely. So even if you just take the highest, the credit card that you owe the most on, and with the highest interest rate, even if you just throw a little extra a week or every 2 weeks or a little extra a month at that particular card until it's paid off, and then take that same amount that you were throwing extra on that card and that exact payment, and then apply that to another card that you're already paying on and add those two payments onto the next card, right? Inflation is here and it's ridiculous and it's going to get more ridiculous. And so, those interest rates are probably going to get higher. So you're going to be actually paying 3 and 4 and 5 times more for that same card than you would be paying for it 3 years ago. So you got to get out of debt. That is, get rid of the cards you don't need. The ones you don't need, the ones you don't use, I'm a big believer in discipline. So, but cut them up. If they're going to be a problem, if they're going to be whispering to you at night, hey, cut them up. Get rid of them, right? Cut them up. Don't even open up the new credit card mail and the marketing they send to you. Just don't even open it up. Cut it up. Let's get out of debt, because imagine how much you could do with the money that you're making right now, and add the money that you're paying out in different debt categories, and add that money to the money you're making right now. How much more could you do with your money? First of all, you can take that extra money and now you can start investing, right? Even if it's small, even if you're putting it into a small money market account and letting it grow over time, letting it grow over the years. At least it's not money sitting in the bank not doing anything. Money is a tool. It's a tool to be used to make more money. Money sitting is money doing nothing. It's not good. All right. So, and six, for those that are working and you had your business and your business starts to do good, or you just say, hey, it's that time for me to jump out on faith and start a business or something like that. Don't burn bridges with your job. Don't burn bridges with your job, for not just for the sake of if you have to come back, which is a great reason, right? But that's not the reason, the sole reason. Um, don't burn bridges with your job, because you want to just leave on good terms, right? Because you want to be able to still uh, interact with some of the people that were there for your new business. You want to still be able to go and be able to meet them for lunch and have lunch with them and interact with them, because they'll open up a whole new gambit of clients and customers for you, right? That you never even knew. You get what I'm saying? So you just leave on good terms, guys. And maybe the company may see your value once you're gone and offer you more money to come back. Just a whole lot of things can happen. Just leaving, and it's just good karma, right? Hey, if you're leaving the job, hey, find a replacement for yourself before you leave. Find a good replacement for yourself, or at least an option for them to look at an interview. And if that works out, that just creates some great karma, right? And it's all about karma. And speaking of karma, number seven is, and this is a great, 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 great financial tip. Listen to it when I tell you. Number seven, give back. Give back to the community. Give back to those that are less fortunate. Give back to those that could be uh, beneficial to your company, to your community, but they just didn't have the chance. So if you reach back and give to them an opportunity to do what you're doing, that's the blessing. See, now we're talking, that's just a universal law that's fulfilled at that point, guys. You know what I mean? That's a universal law that goes unbroken. I know a lot of people you see what they call philanthropists, right? Millionaires and billionaires, and I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, they just give because tax reasons and all that." No, I'm gonna tell you right now, money. There's mindset to money, and with mindset, there are universal laws. Now, of course, yes, sure, the tax breaks for these millionaires and billionaires and thousandaires that give the charities, sure, but they too understand the essential principle of giving, because the universe returns that. The universe is reciprocal, so it returns that. So it doesn't matter what level you on, dollar thousandaire, millionaire, decamillionaire, billionaire. The law doesn't matter where you are and how much you're giving and where you're giving, as long as you're giving it from here, right? And then it returns in kind. So it's not always in money, and sometimes it's in favor, it's in privilege, it's in proximity, putting you in the right place with the right people at the right time, to where the proximity allows you to advance to where you didn't have the finances to do it. Does that make sense? Okay, so yeah, you have to understand that, guys. It is absolutely crucial that you give. All right, so those were the 7 tips to financial freedom, and I said you see 8 on the screen because the 8th one was the icing on the cake. So as you see the ticker going through, it says get $300 added to your paycheck in 24 hours. So the 8th and final tip, guys, and this is the best one that I could ever give you: open and start a home-based business. A home-based business, first and foremost, our home-based business with our experts, what they do, the first thing they do is get your paycheck, right? They get your W-4, they review it, and our experts, they send you your W-4 back after they adjusted it. You send it to HR, and minimum $300. It seems like what we're seeing, up to sometimes $9,000, like a month back in their paychecks, because again they readjusted for the money that's being stolen, robbed from you from the government, right? And paying taxes, they readjusted so that you could put that money back in your paycheck. Now, the reason I said that's the cherry on top, because we talked about medical and life insurance. We talked about automating your investing. We talked about getting out of debt, paying off credit cards strategically, right? Some people say, I want to do all of that. I just don't have the additional funds to do that. So the home-based business, the very first strategy that can help you immediately is putting more money back in your paycheck to allow you to do these strategies, to pay off those credit cards. So, and especially in a time like this right now, where inflation is just through the roof, where the gas prices, national average, I think it's about 550 or something like that nationally. I know where I am, the average is like 510. So I can only imagine what it is like in California or something like that. Wow. So yeah, so that strategy, home-based business, allows you to do it. It allows for tax strategies. It allows for to hire your children to write off about $1,000 per child per month on money that you're already going to spend on them anyway. The home-based business opened up 470 different tax deductions, right? As opposed to the typical 9 that us as Americans get on average. 9 tax deductions when it's time to file your taxes, to write off 470 plus. 9, 470 plus. That alone is worth everything. But you have to be able to understand that this mindset is a true strategy that you need to implement in your life now. Now, I mean, if you are paying your bills with your credit cards right now, if you are, as we say, robbing Peter to pay Paul right now, if you are getting different services just disconnected in your house right now, thinking that's the route to go to save money, to survive, if you're in survival mode and you have a job, this right here, that strategy alone could just change so much for you right now, right? So much alone. So if you're looking to just look into the program, $300 added to your paycheck in 24 hours. You need to start that today, so we can get the experts on your W-4, readjust your W-4, and so we can open up and these other tips to financial freedom, right? That alone can help take care of a lot of that. Get that debt down, right? Get your medical and life insurance going. Get your policy, and then we'll talk about policies and life insurance policies, and how the wealthy use life insurance policies as wealth strategies. So I'm going to have a guest on here maybe in a couple of weeks, and she's going to talk about that. She's going to talk about how life insurance policies are used as wealth strategies. How the wealthy use life insurance policies, not like most of us use them. Most of us use them to just be able to bury somebody. The wealthy use them a totally different way. But right now, guys, get started with this immediate strategy. Let's put some money back into your paycheck right now, today. Let our experts work on it today. In 24 hours, they have a word for you. And like I said, some of the people have actually gotten up to $900 to $1,000. So it all depends. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's paycheck is different. But today, if you need to change, you need to start today, guys. So you see the word, text freedom 216-285-0569. To me, I'll get back with you personally, like I always do, and you can get started today. All right, those tips, even if you don't, text me. Start doing some of these things in your life on your own. You know, these are things that you can do on your own and help start to change your situation. These are things you can do on your own, but it's nothing like having a team of experts doing these things for you. See, all these things I talked about earlier, the experts are doing for you, right? So again, text text freedom to 216-285-0569. And as always, guys, I don't know you and I believe in you. So why don't